Hey guys, we're back here in the garden. Things haven't changed a whole lot from last time, but there are enough to show you some things. So first of all, my black-eyed peas here, you see these pods on top of the plants. I'm calling them done. They could go a little bit longer, but we have, and you can see them down there, we have frost coming tonight, first thing in the morning, and then probably a harder frost the next morning. So these are actually a warm climate plant, even though they're a pea. So they're not going to like this frost. They're not going to do well with it. Sorry about the truck going by. So I have to get these out today. And also the green beans, which are over, and I already picked them, but I wanted to show you a couple things. So one, obviously we're going to be picking those, and if you'll remember, we had a double row here planted at the same time, then we had a single row that we planted a week later. Well, if you look at, so let me pick one of these ready ones. So if you look on this first set of plants, you can actually see where the peas are. So then if you come over to this second row, you'll see 1 week later how much thinner they are. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm going to look through that single row and see if there are any filled out peas and go ahead and pick those. Everything else I think I'm gonna let stay and just see what happens. If frost gets them, frost gets them. If frost doesn't, then if I can get another week out of them, they'll be ready for me to pick. So definitely, this year, definitely paying attention to those planting times was very important. But if you notice something else I wanted to show you, if you'll look at these plants, you'll see 0 blooms. They are not blooming at all. They're all closed up. No blooms going on. If you look at the green beans, same thing. Oh, I missed a bean. No blooms going on those plants. We've got some little green beans, and I apparently missed that one. But if you'll look, no blooms. We've got baby green beans, but no blooms. So what that tells me is that something is wrong in their habitat. So with plants that bloom and give you fruit or vegetables, they need Three things are involved for blooming. 3 things could be a problem. 1, it's too hot. That's not the case here. 1, it's too dry. Also not the case, because if you'll remember, I have drip tape and it's been running. You can see right there the ground is wet. So that's not an issue. And number 3 is it's too cold. So it has gotten too cold for these plants, these black-eyed peas and these green beans, to think that they can produce anymore. So they're not blooming, they're not attracting pollinators, they're not trying to do anything else. What's on the plant is what you're going to get, and that's it. So, in other words, they're at the end of their lifespan. And they're also going to be more susceptible to frost. And that's because those indicators there's no more blooms, not producing anything else, means that this plant has decided it is too cold for it to survive. But if you will look at the butter beans. Do you see all of those blooms? Look at them. They are full of blooms. So I'm going to try a little experiment here and see what happens. I have read that butter beans can handle a light frost. And those blooms are telling me it's not too cold for them yet. So, I'm going to let them go. And we're going to see how they progress. Now, if their pods go ahead and fill out, and I can pick them in the next week or so, then I will do so. But if they want to keep filling out, let me see if I can show you some pods. If they want to keep going, let's see here. If they want to keep going and fill out, you see that's starting to fill out. And they want to fill out as it's cooler, I'm going to let them. We'll just see what happens. I really planted the majority of these crops right here as a cover crop to have something to keep my soil from being exposed all winter. But then I also planted them to have the fertilizer. So to be able to chop this all up and till it in and have in location compost. But anyways, that's my little TED Talk on plants. Because these are still blooming, I'm going to give them a chance. And then if you come over here, so you know we had our radishes. They're still hanging out. Over here, I've got quite a few I can pick. So I will do that. Look at that massive one back there. So I'll pick some of those in just a little bit. You'll see these volunteer butter beans, they're still doing their thing. We'll walk down here a little bit further. I wanted to show you what was happening with the squash experiment. There's a couple beets. One right there, some right there. We'll see what happens. We'll come down here to our sad looking squash. We've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'd say 11 plants left. And they're not looking great. But if you look, they're still blooming and making little baby squash. There's one over there. And our little squash bug friends. There's one. Can you see him? He's right here. Our little squash bug friends, there's only about 1 or 2 of them hanging around. So they're not going to kill these plants. So I'm going to do the same thing as with everything else. And we're just going to wait and see. We'll see what happens. If we get more squash, great. If we don't, well, I've already gotten a good bit, so that's okay. Now, if you look over here, if you'll look closely, we had an intruder. So that would be a pretty good sized deer by the looks of it. They did break the top line of this fence, but interestingly, as far as I can tell, they didn't eat anything. So I'm not sure why they got inside the fence and then didn't eat anything. But I'm grateful because they could have eaten all my peas and all my green beans. But I wanted to show you a little surprise down here. Can you tell what that is? That is a potato. A potato plant. It's got a nice little critter up in the top there. But that is an absolutely beautiful potato plant. And you can see the stalk there. And it's gonna hang out and we'll see what happens. Potatoes, the potato down in the ground is not affected by frost. The plant may be, it may not be. Potatoes can sometimes be perennial. So it may survive the winter. I'm going to let it go and we'll see what happens. If it survives, great. And we'll dig under it and see what kind of potatoes we have here in a little while. If you'll see let me get you in better light so you can see better. You see the sweet potato plant, sweet potato patch. It's looking really, really good. Same thing with sweet potatoes. The plant may die, but the sweet potato in the ground will be absolutely fine. Some people actually store them in the ground over winter. I won't, because we do tend to have, in this clay section right here, so this is the clay part of the garden, we do tend to have water that will stand, and I don't want them to rot. So they're not on the priority list for today because, like said, the frost won't bother the potato down in the underground. So they're just hanging out, but they look great. They're overtaking their weeds. They're even putting on new growth. You'll see those reddish color. That's the new growth. But they look very happy and excited, so I'm just letting them do their thing. Some of them have migrated, you'll see, over into the marigold patch. That's fine. Marigolds are still looking great, doing their beautiful thing. If you'll see back here, that is our pea patch, our green pea patch, and they're also getting nice and bushy and looking great. And we finally have made some headway on our cotton. So I'm going to show you. The plants are still huge, still pretty, still blooming, interestingly. That bloom will not have enough time to make cotton, so that won't happen. But I will show you, see if I can get over in here without getting eaten by something. So cotton has a very, very sharp, pointy, let's see if I can get it off, case that holds the cotton. So you'll see this one, I kind of damaged it a little bit. This one has opened up. You'll see we had 4 beautiful cotton balls. And let's see if I can get the cotton off, and I'll show you. So it kind of has a hickory type case. So it's very hard. These points are very sharp. You will cut yourself if you're not careful. But once you get to about 160 days of this plant growing, it will open its little balls, and you'll see them. There's a few. The ones that have fallen over are the ones that have opened. The ones still standing up haven't opened yet. I don't know how this frost is going to affect them, but we will see. But if you look, so this is beautiful, perfect cotton. And once we have more coming in, I'll show you what I do with this and how I process it. Because of course you have to get the seeds out for it to be useful. This is full of, let's see how many seeds are in this bit right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 in this one ball right here. 7 seeds. And the seeds, the same as the plant, are very, let me see if I can show you one. It's hard to do while holding the camera. They're very spiky. They have basically a thorn on the end of them. But I'll do a whole video on cotton like I did peanuts, and I will show you more about it and explain a little bit more about it. But we do have some cotton on the plant now, which is great. And it shouldn't take more than a week for the rest of it to catch up. But that's the exciting thing for this week. So we'll come on down here, and you'll see the hedge is still doing great, but look at the basil. That's all the little seed pods blooms coming up off the top there. Beautiful basil. I'm going to come out and collect a bunch of those marigold seeds. I probably will collect some basil seeds as well. See if we can get closer so you can see that basil better. It is beautiful. Still have a few pollinators hanging out and flying around. You'll see more down there on the zinnias. But looking absolutely beautiful. We'll come over here. Pepper plants have pretty much called it quits. I did get a couple really pretty green peppers down on the end there. Nice, beautiful, full-size peppers. Cucumber plant, I think, has pretty much said it's done. It's not blooming anymore. This beautiful cinnamon basil here, it's looking great. It's very happy. I've been using these in flower arrangements. Look, we still have a bumblebee. Oh gosh, and he wants to be really close. I've been using that in the flower arrangements, and interestingly, so something strange about this time of year, and I don't know if it's just me thinking it's the case or if it's actually the case, but it seems like when fall comes, our flowers change to fall colors. So in the summer, I had lots of bright pink and yellow and white zinnias, and now I have orange and red and some like interesting peach colors, and I somehow now have autumn colors, which is very interesting to me. I don't know if that's truly the case. I don't know if they have actually changed color. I don't think that's possible. But, or if these are just later zinnias that have come up, like their seeds maybe hadn't sprouted. But for some reason, they're now fall colors, and I'm loving it. It's made some absolutely beautiful flower arrangements. But yeah, it's definitely strange. Looking at our peas, you'll remember, so the ones down here aren't staked up. You'll see they're falling over, but they are full of blooms, attracting our little pollinators. And I'll find you a pod, and we can see how the pods are doing. Let's go back down here and see if we can find kind of a pod that maybe we had found last time. Oh, I'm seeing quite a few now. So if you'll see, let's see if we can, oh yeah, and look, filling out beautifully. There's one right here too. But this one is really ready to pick. These will not be affected by frost, and they actually say that you will have more peas. Your harvest will be much larger if it snows on your peas. So that tells me these can go on and on and on, and I'm just gonna let them. We will see what happens. I'll come and periodically pick the larger ones, like the one I just showed you. But other than that, I'm going to let them go, and we will see what happens. I do wish I had gotten them all staked, because one of the things that will probably be a problem is that the ones down there are going to be affected by moisture. So laying on the ground, they're going to be more likely to rot and catch disease. But at the moment, they look absolutely beautiful. And we will see what's going to happen. A lot of times by now, most of your gardeners and farmers are done with their farming. And that to me is quite sad, because it gives me a lot of things to do with my time and do with my day. And I really enjoy eating the fresh food. So I'm going to let all of this go as far into the winter as it will go, and I'll bring you along. It might not be every week with a garden update, just because things are going to slow down tremendously as we have less sun, less heat, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with this experiment. As you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful fall day today. You can see the hickory over here that's changing. It gets that beautiful golden orangey yellow color, which actually can go this way and show you it better. We do still have some birds hanging out. It's gotten pretty sparse, but there are still some hanging around. Still have quite a few bugs. I imagine the majority of those will disappear tonight. There's a fly on my hand. So now you can see that beautiful hickory mixed in there. One of the prettiest colors for this time of year. We do have a little bit of red over here. So we have some little baby red maples, and then a huge white oak there in the back with a hickory behind it. That hickory actually hasn't started changing yet, but that white oak is starting to change some. These are silver maples, so they're just going to turn yellow and leaves are going to fall off. It actually looks like they are just going to lose their leaves. But definitely a beautiful fall day here today. Quite windy. I think our high today was somewhere around 66, 67 degrees. And like I was saying, we will more than likely have frost tonight, or first thing in the morning rather. And if not tonight, then the next night. This will be more than likely a light frost, so I may be jumping the gun on picking these green beans and these peas, but I don't want to take a chance on losing them. So I am going to go ahead and knock those chores out. And if you've been hanging out since the beginning of this garden season, kind of the beginning of this channel, I guess you could say, you will know that we've talked about how everything this year has been about 2 weeks early. So our being able to get out and plant has been earlier. Our last frost was earlier. Excuse me. Our harvest of things was 2 weeks earlier. And things have just kind of progressed earlier this year. So, in keeping in mind that, I was already planning on our fall frost being 2 weeks earlier. And for us, we are in zone 7B, so our frost typically falls anywhere between Halloween, so October 31st, and November 15th. Well, the last several years, we've been close to that November 15th. So we've been anywhere between November 5th and the 15th. So this year, if we do in fact have frost in the morning, that will be October 25th, and it will be about 11, 12 days, 2 weeks early. So interesting how that may play out. If that does in fact happen, it's going to be very interesting to note that this entire season was 2 weeks early. What that's going to mean for our winter and then our coming spring, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But if you are someone who keeps track of those kind of things, and I meticulously track weather patterns, they're very interesting to me. So it just will be interesting. It's very, very interesting to me that 2 weeks have stayed the same all the way through the year, that we're still 2 weeks ahead. We never got behind. So anyways, that's me rambling on about something that you probably don't care about, but I'm sharing in case you do. But I will let you take a look at things, and you'll see my bushel baskets hanging out, waiting for me to come and pick all these beans. If you like what you've seen, like what you've heard, have any comments, questions, I'd love to know them. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe if you want to come back and know more about cotton, see what I'm going to do with these peas. Keep an eye out on these plants that are going to change over the next couple weeks. See what happens with our potato experiment. See if these Green beans or peas or butter beans come back. In central Virginia, we have strange weather, and it could be 80 degrees next week. And these may go back to blooming, they may go back to producing. So we'll see what happens. If I can limp this stuff along till spring, then I'm going to let it do it, and we will see. So subscribe, follow along, and I'm not a consistent poster, so I'm not someone who's going to post on, this certain day at this certain time. I'm just not good at that yet. So do hit the little notification bell if you want to be notified of when I post, because like I said, it's not going to be consistent. That's a goal for the new year, but we aren't there yet. So thanks for coming along, for hanging out. I know I rambled today. I'll try and zoom in so you can see things a little bit better. But thanks for coming along. Thanks for being here. Enjoy this beautiful day. If it isn't beautiful where you are, I am greatly sorry, because it is absolutely stunning here today. True fall is here for sure. So I'm going to leave you with the sounds of the garden.